Making headlines tonight, Barbados and Saudi Arabia have signed an agreement that will expand the tourism sector. Barbados on course to cash in on the $1 trillion healthy foods market. The Chief Justice urges Barbadians to stop shying away from jury duty in criminal matters. And coming up in sports, 4 more countries qualify for the round of 16 at the FIFA World Cup.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Barbados and Saudi Arabia have signed an agreement aimed at expanding the travel and tourism sector. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Goodin-Edgell signed a tourism memorandum of understanding and an air service agreement with Saudi Arabia's Minister of Tourism, His Excellency Ahmed Al Khatib. The signing took place today at the World Travel and Tourism Global Summit, which is being held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It symbolizes the growing relations between the two countries and provides an opportunity for Barbados to expand its global reach. Minister Goodin-Edgell said the agreement will go a long way in furthering ties with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it will also explore opportunities for mutual cooperation between both countries in respect of tourism. Barbados also signed an air services agreement with the Minister of Transport and Logistics Services, His Excellency Saleh bin Nasser Al Jasser, to develop an international aviation system which facilitates the expansion of international air service opportunities, making it possible for airlines to offer travel and shipping services between the two countries. Barbados will also be part of a special joint Caribbean event on Thursday, December 1st, to promote Barbados' tourism product and identify investment opportunities with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Arabian Gulf, and the Middle East. 2 days shy of the 3rd anniversary of Barbados restructuring its debt, Prime Minister Mia Amor-Mottley says a lot had to be done to take the country out of its dire financial straits, stressing the journey isn't over. Speaking at the opening of the International Food Science Center, she said sometimes in the life of a nation, talk is no longer sufficient.
This government determined when it came to office that there had to be a transformation across a number of frontiers, without which there would be no possibility for us to extricate ourselves from the very deep, deep hole within which we found ourselves. And this is all before a pandemic, all before the climate crisis became very real to Bajans with Hurricane Elsa and the freak storm, all before the ashfall, all before all of the other things that we are facing. So that if we knew before all of these things that this was necessary for us to become fit for purpose, then the question was, why hadn't the country achieved it over the course of 5 decades? And a large part of it has to do with, one, deconstructing and ensuring that we meet the demands of what the market requires and what the road for transformation requires. And the second part, of course, is political will. And the third part, of course, is having the resources to redeploy.
Ms. Mottley added that the country was in a situation where it was paying people to come to work, but they did not have the resources to do anything. And the debt restructuring was timely and critical in order for the nation to become fit for purpose.
If you go into the hospital bleeding out, there's no amount of ability to save you once you're bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. You'll die. And that was exactly what was happening when we were paying 67 cents in each dollar towards debt when we came to office. People forget easily that the condition in which we found ourselves. But people forget equally easily that we were able to finish this the month before the litany of woes which I just referred to started. This next few days, Thursday is the 1st of December, represents 3 years that we finished our debt restructuring. But it also represents 2 years and 11 months since COVID started.
Barbados is on its way to cashing into the $1 trillion healthy foods market. Wendy Burke tells us that the opening of the International Food Science Center provides the impetus for this to happen.
Export Barbados has concluded a study which shows manufacturing wellness foods will bring great economic returns. Internationally, it's a $1 trillion market. Chief Executive Officer Mark Hill says the high level of non-communicable diseases makes the benefits twofold.
So basically, we want to focus on foods, but not just food for profit, but food in the health and wellness space. We're about to wrap up a life science study, and one of the things that is pointing to is that the wellness market is going to be a big market for Barbados. But more so, our people have a significant problem with NCDs. So we want that this center focus specifically in that space, PM. So that is where the money is, that's where the demand is, but it's also where the need is as well. So just a reflection on the direct costs, particularly when it comes to diabetic patients' rehabilitation. About 14 million for the healthcare budget, just for diabetic care and stuff like that. So we're not only making money, but we're also saving money as well.
Mr. Hill said logistically, we are in a good space.
33% of the growth is expected to come from the U.S. market alone, which is just up north. So that's from here to Miami. And we got American Airlines every day going this direction. So as far as logistics is concerned, it makes the best business sense for us. So the vision for food science is to develop the most innovative health and wellness food brands in the world. And that is really the passion here. Really about how do we support life, how do we sponsor life, but not just Barbadian lives, but also lives around the globe as well.
CMOS features heavily in the wellness picture, and Export Barbados is growing it in St. Lucie.
We've been growing our own CMOS, and right now we are £1,000 per month. And now we're getting ready to build up more rafts where we get into £1,000 per week. But what we're doing is that CMOS is one of the most versatile and flexible products on the planet. And we have our big ocean that we can grow as much of it as we want. And you will see some of our products that we're producing where we replace cornstarch with CMOS.
Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Davidson Ishmael, said the center will bring higher manufacturing output.
Moreover, it signals that the strategic pivot to restructure Barbados's manufacturing industrial landscape as conceptualized by the government of Barbados is in fact beginning to bear fruit. In that regard, let me take this opportunity to publicly extend my heartfelt congratulations to Export Barbados for making this vision a reality, and I laud the team's yeoman efforts to modernize our local industrial infrastructure within the context of the rapidly advancing evolution of Industry 4.0. This initiative is being taken against the backdrop of an immediate need to diversify and grow Barbados's economy. To this end, the government of Barbados has set a goal of reaching US $1 billion in exports by 2030.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley and others toured the facility and met with a number of clients who are working with the center to get their products to international standards. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
We're back after the break with news of tomorrow's Independence Concert. As authorities continue to press ahead with plans to chip away at the backlogged matters in the court system, an appeal is being made for the public to play its part and report for jury duty for criminal matters. Chief Justice Sir Patterson Cheltenham made the call as he delivered remarks during the ceremonial opening of the 2022-2023 legal year at the Supreme Court. Noting Barbadians are often vocal about the delays, he pointed out that many shy away when summoned for jury duty.
Registrar of Justice in Criminal Division are now frequently bombarded with excuses of every conceivable type to avoid this civic duty. So what do they really want? They have to make up their minds. You can't have the luxury of sitting here and living in your room and don't partake. So the call has to be made. They must be called out.
Mindful of the practice, the Chief Justice says the Jury Act needs modernizing.
Has always been too generous in the exemptions of the categories of persons who are exempted from jury service. That gap must be closed, and the reasons for an exemption from jury must be carefully delineated and circumscribed.
We're less than 24 hours away from the big Independence Day concert in Hero Square. The event will be a cultural extravaganza that will include the Independence Band, directed by Darian Bailey, featuring the likes of Nicholas Branker, Red Plastic Bag, TC, Tay, and Edwin Yerwood, just to name a few. The NCS Cultural Officer for Music Education, Kevin Moore, said it will be a special treat.
Now, if you remember last year, on the 29th of November, we debuted the Barbados National Steel Youth Orchestra, and they were amazing. This year promises to be the same with the Symphony Orchestra. They're in rehearsals and they are going lovely. Also on stage will be the Barbados 100 Voice Project with 100+ voices. We have a fantastic band presenting a one-of-a-kind show for you. Led by Darian Bailey, this Independence Band will be backing cultural ambassadors, Dr. the Most Honorable Anthony Gabby Carter, Dr. the Most Honorable Station Red Plastic Bag Wilshire, and Cultural Ambassador Alissa Hines. We also have Wendy Allen, Shirley Stewart, Nicholas Branker, Peter Ram, Lil Rick, and so much more in store for you. There's something there for everyone. We also have persons from the NIFCA Music in the Square Showcase, some young persons who would have excelled on the stage. So come out, enjoy, and support. November 30th, Hero Square, 6 p.m.
Well, as you just heard, one of the big names on the card is Shirley Stewart, and he joins us live now. Shirley, thank you so much for joining us. I understand you flew in just for this event?
That is correct, and I'm having a ball in the hall.
Okay, your hit Walk Away From Love is considered a Barbadian all-time favorite. Tell us a bit about what we can expect tomorrow night.
Well, tomorrow night is going to be very, very special because there's a young man by the name of Joshua Osborne. I hope I didn't mess his name up. But he sang at NIFCA, and they hired him from the NCF, and he's singing Walk Away From Love. So tomorrow, it's going to be a pleasure to join with him and sing my classic hit. And he's good. He is very good.
Yeah, I imagine by now you've been to some rehearsals. What's the atmosphere like? I expect it'll be a fantastic show. I know when you you're at rehearsals and you're seeing everything come together, you tend to get the feeling of how big the occasion would be.
It's huge because when I walk into the rehearsal, everybody was there already. The band was rehearsing. I saw Wendy Allen in the corner, Mighty Gabby on the other side. I met Paula Hines, a host of people. Very, very exciting. So if you make sure that tomorrow night you do not miss this concert. If you miss this, you miss a big one.
Yeah, I imagine that. I'm
That's
excited,
correct.
looking forward to it as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Shirley.
My pleasure.
All right, that was Barbadian recording artist Shirley Stewart. Barbados' independence and the late man from St. Philip go hand in hand. Leon Mears' love for Barbados is on display for the country to see at his Curtin St. Philip home. He's passionate about showing his patriotism every independence. Mears says he just loves what he does.
You know, I always like to hit them in the ear with the plane and like to do the house. This has been a tremendous performance the last couple of years, man. I got a lot of sponsors, and I got something going on good tomorrow for Independence with a good few sponsors. I don't really want to call too much, too numerous to mention, but that tomorrow I got an all-day karaoke session, fun and lime, food free, compliments, cooking by the Korean Hotel, and everything be good. And they got a lot of trophies and giveaways thanks to the sponsors.
With all set for Barbados to commemorate its 56th anniversary of political independence tomorrow, schools across the island got a jump start on activities. A range of events, including dress days, were hosted, allowing students to don the national colours with great enthusiasm and respect. One such school was the Ronald Weeks Primary, and their celebrations included a Bajan parade. Teacher Keisha Haynes says activities were celebrated under the theme Bajan and Proud.
We had a month of activities which included Games Day, where we had old-time games such as Chinese skip, hand games, ring games, because children they're accustomed having the tablet and cell phone, and they're more lean towards the technology. So we try to show them ways that we have fun. Well, I'm not that old, but the ways that we have fun when we were younger, being outside and playing. We also had the art competition and photography competition.
Well, one of those competitions was about showcasing Barbados.
My work is a Barbados flower, and I really didn't know really what to do, but I'm really proud of myself for doing a Barbados flower.
I did
the Barbados flower, black belly sheep, and white turtle, and a picture of Skeets Bay.
Hennessy Artistry is a go with the stage being set at Kensington Oval. In fact, one of the headliners for Saturday night, Movado, will be celebrating his birthday in Barbados on Independence Day, according to promoter and partner of Fast 7 star Alison Hunt.
We have our arrivals starting from tomorrow. Movado will be arriving for his birthday to celebrate here in Barbados. He likes to consider himself an honorary citizen because his grandparents are from Barbados. So he's arriving tomorrow on the island. We'll have some words from him, and on the artists are actually coming in quite early this year, so everyone will be on island on the 1st, except Mr. Shanti, who's coming in privately at an undisclosed time.
Sports time now, and we head over to the sports studio and say good evening to Damien Best. He'll be breaking up his night rest to watch some West Indies cricket tonight.
Oh, why not? The first hour can't hurt. Good evening to you, Shane. Good evening to all viewers and listeners. Well, West Indies Test captain Craig Brathwaite is eagerly looking forward to tonight's opening test against Australia at Perth. While admitting that they will start as the underdogs in the short series, he says they are looking forward to 10 solid days of intense Test cricket.
From the start, we got 10 days of hard Test cricket to play. We know Australia, very, very good team, and especially at home. So the main thing for us is to focus on our disciplines and, doing it right. So when we batting, we want to bat obviously 100 overs plus, and when we bowling, we're looking to get 20 wickets, so that obviously is to help a team win a game. So we obviously focusing on that. We know Australia, is a superior team. We gotta play 10 days of hard cricket as the main focus.
Well, that first test between the Windies and Australia bowls off in Perth at 10:20 tonight, Barbados time.
From humble beginnings to a showstopper event. That's how Human Resources and Marketing Manager at Corporators General Insurance Cheryl Ford summed up their recent Small Business Enterprises Pop-Up Entrepreneurs Market. She told the Business Report the initiative was for the benefit of policyholders, but it touched everyone.
This year, we had over 35 persons distributed, selling their products and services. Over 35 of our policyholders. That was a very good response. The year before, we had about 20, 25 booths. This year, then, we had over 35, and that was well received by our policyholders.
The Corporators General Insurance official says the market was wide and varied, and indications are that it would be held again next year. While EV battery recycling is still in its infancy, Barbados is playing its part as electric vehicles become popular. Sustainable energy engineer with Lithium Consulting Barbados, Antonio Seeley, in addressing a query at the Regional Evolution Electric Vehicle Expo in Jamaica, says a battery repurpose lab is breathing new life into the units.
At the end of life for the lithium-ion batteries, let me say an old Nissan Leaf from 2013, they would take the battery, reconfigure it in a different configuration and redeploy it for stationary storage application in conjunction with solar PV, and also golf carts, but mainly golf carts. So they pretty much restructure the battery and extend the life. So the short answer to your question is right now we are not dealing with disposing of it yet. We are extending the life to kind of kick the can down the road on how we dispose of it. So the plan there is if you have a battery that would have 10 years of use in one application, you might be able to get another 10 to 15 years in another application, and then that would defer when you have to actually get to the point of managing the disposal of the battery.
Time for the second half in sports. We head back on over to Damien.
Thanks so much, Shane. Well, it's down to the semi-final and final stages of the Z-Money Independence Youth Development Road Tennis Tournament. In the 16 to 21 age group, the semi-finalists are Shaquem Nurse, Ezekiel Ward, Raheem Nurse, and Jill Graves. And among the semi-finalists in the 10 to 15 age group are Dre Smith and Shaquan Henry. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke takes a look at some of the recent matchups at Dover ahead of tomorrow's finale at the Willie Gymnasium.
Our junior road tennis players were on courts again. In this one, Shalon Howell backing in the blue and Richard Cumberbatch go head-to-head. Howell took the first set at 18-21, but that will be all to celebrate as Cumberbatch responded nicely down the lane and the game is on. Cumberbatch with the serve. Hall responds, but the return beats him to his left. Not to say Hall was totally out of it. This pepper of a shot was too much for Cumberbatch. But in the end, it was all Cumberbatch taking the other two sets and the match at 21-15, 21-9. It was a much easier assignment for Tyrico Brathwaite in the black over Giovanni Jokes. Although both boys were shot for shot, the unforced errors made the difference. Jokes gaining from the error. Brathwaite now serves, and like it was all game, some nice rallies were in the mix. But oh no, the errors. They dictated the points. This time Jokes is on the losing end. And I must include a shot. Brathwaite with a cross-court beauty, the match shining moment. Brathwaite also knew when to apply the pressure, and Jokes returns out of court. Brathwaite wins the first set 21-9. And the script went quite the same for the second. Brathwaite determining the rhythm and Jokes just not keeping up into the net. Jokes serves and we have some nice exchanges, but watch Brathwaite as he steps in for the kill. The youngster is showing class. Brathwaite looks like one to watch for the future, beating Jokes to his left. As he went on to close the second set 21-11 and the match 2-0. Also with a straight sets victory was Zion Moore backing in the blue over opponent Kobe Hope. Watch as Moore switches it up. That was sweet. So nice he did it twice. Moore serves and the rally is looking textbook. Just waiting to strike. Keeping Hope in one mode before he changes gear. Another lovely point gained. He then added an ace to the party. Hope, who once had a set at 12-all, now struggling. As Moore had a total domination of the latter part of the set, claiming the last 9 points for himself to close it out at 21-12. Hope, looking to pull things back, started the second on fire and showed he had a cross-court attack too. Moore losing some early ground as Hope was in revenge mode. But Moore was not about to let things get out of hand and quickly took back control with this point up 16-10. Again keeping Hope into one corner before switching. Hope responds but just couldn't the second time. Moore looking to seal the deal. And that he did. Hope actually gifting him the win, taking it at 21-12, 21-17. In other games, Raheem Nurse in the black got past Nolan Stewart at 21-9, 21-8. It was a battle royale that saw Kemar Sherman in the red bandana win out against Devontae Haynes 21-16, 21-12. And in a competitive duel, Jael Graves in the fluorescent green and black got the better of Mathony Ford at 21-12, 21-15. Anne-Marie Burt, CBC Sports.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Finally, Springer Memorial disposed of the visiting Christchurch Foundation School in the latest encounter of the National Sports Council Senior Girls Volleyball Championship held at Government Hill. CBC's Sean Green reports.
Foundation serving to Springer Memorial. That's a high one, but no problem for these girls finding the tall Williams in front court, and she sinks it into Foundation's backcourt. And they had a little jig going because they had actually just won their first set at 22. Changing courts and Springer with the serve. Foundation sending it back with force. Springer couldn't formulate anything with it, so it's back over to Springer. And Foundation will set up their big striker in Holder. Springer sends it back, and they set her up again, but a bit too much power on that. Springer with another serve. Will it be successful? I would say yes. Steele serves, and Springer Memorial did well with this one, coming back to Foundation in a hurry. Leaving Beckles got sprattled on the turf. Austin with the ball in hand barely gets that one over the net, and that created a chance for her front court to clean up. Good job by Waith. After Foundation claimed the second at 16, it was down to the third. Springer on match point at this stage. Foundation getting their direction all wrong, and it was Bacchanal in Government Hill as Springer Memorial took the third and final set at 15-11.
That's our news. Good night and be good. Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.